All right, let's switch gears and talk about the next gen console that has the current gen console that has a price hike, and we're talking about the Meta Quest VR 2.
Okay, not
Uh,
a full-fledged console, but a big
VR console,
a VR headset system. Yeah. Because you still need the big PC or whatever. You need some stuff to power it as well. But
So it started August 1st.
mhm.
It went up by $100. So the price of the 128 gig version is now $399, and the 256 gig version is $499. And it was they increased the price to help offset increased prices with the chip shortage. Right, Meta will be giving everyone, but to offset some of this, right, they're going to be Meta is going to it's so weird to call it Meta because I think of Meta World Ron Facebook.
calling Ron Artest Meta World Peace for the man who went off on a fan who threw a cup at him is funny enough. But yes,
technically, he wasn't. He was Ron Artest when that happened, and he did more than throw a cup at him. There were some racial slurs thrown, and he lost his cool. And,
still don't do that though. I mean,
Well, you know what? I will say this: if there is any good that came out of that, now the NBA will throw you out of the game if you go too far with your.
Oh, that person was acting a fool. That fan was acting a fool for sure. Yeah.
But that person, we can all agree that person crossed the line.
Oh yeah,
and
agreed.
We say if you meet me in the street, you get your ass whooped.
Oh sure.
Yeah. They met them at the stadium, or they met them at the arena. And got their ass whooped.
Mm-hmm.
That person deserved to get their ass whooped. However, if you're someone that's making millions of dollars, you should
have a little restraint.
But it's sad. I will say this: it's sad that it took professional athletes to whip some ass or some regular Joe for the league to say maybe we should have these certain fans that go overboard kicked out of the stadium.
Sure.
They should have thought about that beforehand. But he became Meta World Peace after that. To be fair.
Right. Yeah, he became Meta World Peace, and now we have the Quest VR 2 off of Facebook, who is now Meta.
Meta.
They made a change to try and rehabilitate themselves, and
there you go. Well, there you go.
So that's how we can tie all that back together. But the new Quest 2 VR,
$100 more. Listen, that's like Xbox and Sony saying, "Hey, you know what? The chip shortage, semiconductor shortage. Sorry, we're not going to just have limited amounts of PS5s and Xbox Series X, but we're going to make them $600."
Yeah. Think about if Apple came out and said, "No, all the iPhones are now $100 more, all of them across the board." Or if Google came out and said the Pixel
I'll be honest,
series,
no one would care. It's $1,000 or $1,100 would make that.
No, people would be upset about that. I mean,
would be upset, but it wouldn't make that much of a difference.
It's a little less of a sting, but it's still a sting. Yeah. This is unprecedented. You don't do this, right? No. I think you were starting to say. I think you were starting to say that they give you a free copy of Beat Saber, which is like $20 or whatever, to offset the price. So you're still paying an additional $80. Whether you wanted Beat Saber or not is a question, but you get it. So, if you want to be charitable, it's an extra $80, and you get a $20 game Beat Saber for that $100. You could just buy Beat Saber on its own. I mean, it's not
promotion. For free promotion to Beat Saber.
Yeah, it's a great game. Don't get me wrong.
Comes with every MetaQuest 2 system.
And this says through the end of 2020. Is that free promotion going to end after 2022? Oh, 2022. So
probably. Who knows?
By the way that's worded. So it's an extra $100. All said and done.
You know what I think? This is what I think. I think they make it an extra $100, right? So if you're dumb enough to buy it between now and October, you will. And around the holiday season, they'll discount it to its regular price, right, of $100 cheaper. And that's when so wait till the holiday season when it goes down $100 to its normal price,
or just not buy it at all. I mean, because I think
I will say, like, doing these Christmas sort of Secret Santas and stuff, like the Quest 2 was like super popular. Quested everybody. Oh well, I want a Quest 2, especially for these raffles for the job.
Yeah. It's a good
So
it's a good headset.
So people so it's in demand. We'll say that. It may not be a PS5, but it's also in demand.
Well, I mean, everything's in demand, right? Cars are in demand, cell phones are in demand. Everybody wants all this stuff.
Do you want an Oculus Quest 2 or a car?
I would rather have a car, but that's just because a car is just infinitely more expensive. But I don't know why. I was going to say Facebook, but Meta, the parent company of Facebook, I don't know why they don't just eat it. They already have bad press, especially because I think
Mark Zuckerberg is just like my uncle, cheap.
Well, that doesn't mean you should do things that look bad in the eyes of your consumers.
He's a billionaire that says, I don't want to pay the $100. You guys pay it. Offset the cost.
It's just, it's a bad look. Also, I think MetaQuest 2, or the whole line actually, I think they were injecting ads into games. I think
so. I don't know.
When you ended up like loading up a game or whatever, there'd be some like pre-roll ad or whatever that you had to watch. You used to have to have a Facebook account. I don't know how true that is anymore. I remember that.
No. You used to have a Facebook account to use it.
You used to have to.
To be fair, who didn't?
No, I know, but like even when you like sign up new, like some people may want their stuff private. There was no reason to have to do that other than they want your data. They want to aggregate your data. They want your data, so you're basically paying them to.
I want
to take your data, which is
talking
weird.
about Facebook. I got a little bit of a grief. It's not a game.
Oh, all right. Well, let's get into that since we're talking about.
So I am looking for to buy a new car. Well, to buy a car. I want to say new, right? Because I'm looking to buy a house. Instead of spending $60,000 on a new car, I'll spend $20,000 on a used car.
Sure.
So I am, $40,000 different. So I am looking to buy a car. Carvana, and other car sites, right, buy used cars. When you go on the website, you download it, and instead of making an account, you can just link your Facebook. Right, it's so much easier.
A lot of those use Google or Facebook or whatever to log in.
Yeah. Well, my grief, which is not a gamer grief but a life grief, is when you download the app and they say, "Hey, do you want to sign up? When you want to sign up, or do you sign in?" Right? They don't have that option to sign in through your Facebook. So I'm like,
oh, it's only on the website, not on the app.
Yeah, I'm like, that's dumb. Like, okay, like I put in my Facebook. I put in my Facebook email and my Facebook password, and it's like incorrect password. And I do forget password, and then I have to make a new password. It's just so dumb. It's like they should just have login through your Facebook on the app, just like they have on the website. That makes more sense.
Yeah.
So
I can only assume they haven't gotten to that feature yet, but
it's not just that. A lot of other apps did it too, but that was the last thing that had me pissed off last night when I was looking at used cars. So I want to say life grief right there. Like, if I can log in to Facebook on the website, do that in an app too. Come on, makes sense. Just makes sense. That's all we said.
I agree.
All right. Well, speaking of VR headsets, right? We know we got PSVR 2 coming, and we're both looking forward to it. I know I am.
It's gonna be great.
Can't wait till it comes, because it is gonna be great. It's gonna be an amazing thing. Hopefully, the price we don't know about, right? We think Sony's gonna make this a premium thing, and they're making the user experience pretty good and customizable. So this may be, we haven't had other systems have a price hike, even though the Nintendo did come out with the the OLED model, so they can make it $50 cheaper than the regular one.
Well, sure, but you're getting better technology out of it now.
You're getting a better screen. You get a better screen. But I still think the PSVR 2 now, because of sort of what's going on with inflation and shortages, I think the PSVR 2 may be the same price as the PSVR, the PS5.
Oh, I would bet money on that too, 100%. Yeah. It's probably going to be $500 if not more. Because remember, the original PSVR was $400.
Yes.
Which was the price of a PlayStation at the time. A PS4, I believe, was $400, right?
I think it was $399. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
For $400.
So, but, and that was like a baseline headset, right? That was kind of entry level in terms of comparing it to the Vive.
It was just a headset. It wasn't like, any of the other accessories you need to play VR game with, like the camera.
I think that was in the $400 bundle. No, didn't you get the camera and everything else? I think it came with all that.
I thought it was a $500. I could be wrong. I mean, this.
Maybe it was $500 for everything. Yeah.
I thought they had a $500 bundle. It was $399. Could be wrong. Maybe it was $299.
I say all that to say that because that was like the least powerful out of all the headsets. It was a fun experience. It was great, and it was a great way for people to get into VR.
$2 to $3 million. Yeah, 2 to 3 million units.
Sure, but that was very low powered. This one is going to be competitively powered to the units that are on the market. Possibly the most powerful unit until a new version of the Vive or the Quest or whatever comes out. Well, so
I love the new features, right? You still will have cinematic mode, so it's like movie mode. Go to the right. You will be able to swap between your view of game and your view of real life surrounding, right? So you just button, and you'll be able to make sure you're not about the step into the wall or a closet or hit a dresser or anything like that. Or smack somebody in the face.
That's super cool.
And users using the controller of the PSVR 2 enabled cameras, you can map out a unique play area to create barriers or limits. Right? Because I know I'm not gonna lie. I think I walked into my closet door a bunch of times.
It happens.
It happens. I had like a small space where I did the PSVR. And there are rumors that there will be haptic feedback in controllers as well, which will raise the price of this unit, right? So just imagine DualSense sort of haptic feedback controls in your PSVR 2 controller, where you feel everything. So that right there, that would be sort of the premium VR experience in my view, right? Because other VR headset controllers don't have, at least to my knowledge, have that. Everybody has that. So that would be kind of cool. Like that in the controllers and in the headset, right? Where like getting banged around.
It's going to have to be pretty mild to accommodate all people. Kids, adults, women, men,
Well, if the headset had haptic feedback, it would be like a minimal shake compared to in the controls, right? The controllers where it's hands, head.
Yeah, so and I guarantee you, every game's going to have settings. How intense do you want the rumble or whatever it is, or the feedback?
Yep, I'm excited for PSVR 2. Speaking of the Genesis Mini 2 and how that's maybe limited, and we may not be able to get that, right, because of the limited stock.
Yeah,
I'm a little worried about the potential limited stock of PSVR 2.
100%.
When it comes out, right?
100%. PS5s are still hard to get. Now you have two.
A little easier now compared to 2 years ago.
I mean, yeah, but it's still an issue, is what I'm saying.
It's still an issue.
It's an issue with everything. So we'll see how it goes.